Hello, this is Vicky from the Spellbound Bead Company, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make a quick and simple bar necklace. For this project you're going to need 5 6x4mm crystal rondelles. I've got jet, gunmetal, silver, white opal and crystal. You're going to need some 0.8mm half hard wire. I've got approximately 8 inches. No, I haven't. I've got approximately 3 inches or 8 centimetres. That's probably going to be more than we need, but it's always easy to work with a slightly longer length. I've got 2 4mm jump rings, and I've got a pre-finished 18-inch trace chain. I would recommend trace chain for this project as opposed to curb chain because of getting through the jump ring through the link. If you've got a larger curb chain, then that will work as well. But I'm using trace chain because personally I prefer the look of it. So you're also going to need some round nose pliers, some flat nose pliers and some wire cutters. So we're going to start by using the round nose pliers, and we're just going to turn a loop on the end of the wire. So I'm going to grip the end of the wire in the pliers. Just make sure I can't feel anything sticking out the back here, because that way you'll get a nice round loop as opposed to a slightly pea-shaped loop, which isn't really what we're aiming for here. And I'm going to keep my elbow tucked in. I'm pointing at my elbow, not that you can see that. And I'm just going to roll that wire around until the pliers meet the wire. I'm then going to reposition the wire around the pliers, and I'm just going to pull that back and make sure that I've got a nice lollipop shaped loop on the end of the wire. I'll run the wire between my fingers to just straighten it out a little bit, and then I'm going to thread on my beads in the order of my choice. So I'm going to gradiate them from dark to light, or light to dark, depending on which direction you're looking in. So we'll just thread these on. That's 5 of those there. And I'm going to bring them up so they're all sitting reasonably snugly together. You don't want to have them too tight because they are crystal. So if you put a bit too much pressure on them, they can crack. So it's unlikely, but better safe than sorry. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this wire down so that it's approximately 6mm, 6 to 8mm, or 1/4 of an inch from the end of the final crystal. So we want to cut it about there. And I'm just going to control that other end of the wire between my fingers. And let's bring that in a bit. There, so it's roughly the width of my little fingernail, which is quite handy. Control that end there so that we don't lose this end and injure anybody. And then we're going to turn a loop on this end of the wire that sits in the same plane, the same direction as this loop that we've already turned. So in my case, the loop is running parallel to the table, so I'll do the same thing on this end. To make it slightly easier, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my thumbnail in against that end of that crystal, and I'm just going to bend this wire with my finger back to about a 45-degree angle. Then again, I'm going to put the end of the wire in the pliers, and I'm going to bring that round to make a loop, just like so. So there we go. So you can see I've got 2 loops, one on either end of the wire, on either end of the crystals. Now, if they're not sitting quite parallel, what you can do is just grab a second pair of pliers. So these are round and these are flat, and just twist slightly till they're sitting parallel to one another. So they're not too bad. Now this has got a slight curve in the middle, which I quite like, but you can straighten it out as well if you need to. What we're going to do then is we're going to find the centre of this chain, and then we're going to cut it in half. So put the jump rings together at that end, come down, then find the centre link, and with your wire cutters, just cut it off, like so. Okay. And then all that we've got left to do is to connect the beading to the chain. So I'm just going to use a couple of 4mm jump rings because the 0.8 wire is a little bit too thick to go through the chain comfortably, but I like the chunkiness and the stability that you get here. So what we'll do is we'll just use a 4mm jump ring. We'll twist that open onto the end of the wire and then put that through the link on the end of the chain and twist that back closed. And then we'll do the same thing with a jump ring on the other side. Oops. And there we go. There we have our beautiful bar necklace. Thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed the video.